Hello everyone, welcome once again. Today in our series of Python for penetration testing videos, we will learn how to create a tool. We have a scanner already, we have made already the advanced scanner and the simple scanner, and now we'll make a tool to grab the banners, the version enumeration stuff, right? We know once we have used Nmap, really they have already known about these banner grabbing techniques. For those who don't know what is banner grabbing, we'll try to connect with a particular port and we'll retrieve some banner, some information about our services. That's what we call it as banner grabbing. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with this tool, and we'll start with banner grabbing and we'll try to develop a tool for vulnerability analysis with a particular files that you hold that contains a list of vulnerabilities. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and I have my Metasploitable 2 machine running in here for a pre-made vulnerable machine, and that's the machine I'm going to scan in here with my tool, and I'll start script now with Python. So we have already made 2 files in here, and I'm going to make one more file, and the file name should be banner grabbing. Any name you can mention in here. I'm just using banner grabbing.py. okay, and I have this file in here, and we all know the first line should be always your shebang line. So user bin python, okay, and we need a main function and the rest of the function. So I can call the main function in here in this way. You can call with the full line also, like we did with PyCharm, no issues. And I'm going to call this function define main. Okay, so in here what I'm going to do is very simple. First I need to have an IP address, and I'm just giving the IP address directly in here. First we'll directly try with our IP, and then we'll go on with prompting the user for an IP. Okay, and the port number should be 22, any port I'm giving in here. Okay, and I need to create connection. Okay, for connection what we need, of course we need to work on with our socket library, sir, right? So that's why I need to import socket library. Okay, this library is mainly responsible for your connection. Okay, and port 22, this is what I want, and I'm introducing a variable called banner, and I need to use a function that should go on to connect, to check for connection. Okay, instead of going on with the connection in here itself, I'm going to introduce a new function, return banner. Okay, and what I'll do, and then if there is a banner, and it will print out in this way, or I can go in this way. Right, it should be in double quotes, and I can mention in here, okay, plus I'm just giving plus IP because this will get the IP address from in here, and you don't need to give the IP address directly. In case if you just change in here, automatically it will get displayed. Otherwise you need to type IP address in each print options. Okay, so I'm just giving in here plus IP, and then I'm just giving a colon for differentiation, and then I'll just add the banner in here. Okay, because banner are also variable, so it will get displayed in here, and I don't need to go with the string with the double quotes. Okay, I've just mentioned in here, everything is done, and I'm just calling the main function in here. I need to define the another function, return banner. So define return banner, right, IP port. Okay, I need to edit this. Actually I don't need this parenthesis in here. I'll just close it. Okay, and now what I'll do, I'll just go on and I'll try connecting with the port here. This is where we can try to connect with our machine. Okay, how we have our socket, right? So socket dot, and in here I'm just going to add a set default timer. Why? Because in case if your connection takes more time, we can't wait for that much time, right? So that's why I'm giving out timeout. Okay, it will not try after 2 seconds. If it's not trying to connect, if there is no machine active, it will return an error. It will just go to the return. Okay, it will just close the program. Okay, that's why we use set default timeout. And then I'm introducing a variable s for socket connection, socket. Okay, now it will try to connect, and now what I'll do, I'll like s dot connect, and now it will try to connect with this IP and this port that you have mentioned in here. Okay, now everything is done. Now I'll just go in here and banner equal s dot air receive. So this is what your function that is responsible to retrieve the banner with that connection. And how it will retrieve, I'm just going to mention the bytes of data, 1024 bytes. Within this 1024 bytes, it will retrieve the banner from the victim's machine. In case if it is not receiving, that means you need to, maybe you can try by increasing the sites that you want to receive, and of course within this 1024 bytes, obviously you will receive lots of banners. Okay, and then I need to go in here to return banner, because we need the output, right? So return banner. Okay, once it is done, and I need to go on with exception conditional also, right? If it doesn't work, just bring the program to halt. Okay, so that's what we want. So I'll just mention in here return. Okay, simple. And now I'll just save this and control X S, right? And now let me run this one. Before going on with this, change mode plus X, because we need to give the permission for this file, right? So run this file now. And okay, invalid syntax, add banners. Okay, maybe I will try this, and you can see, okay, I've missed a close parenthesis in here. It took me really 2 minutes, nearly 2 minutes to find this, and it's a very simple mistake I'm making in here. No issues. And now let me save this file, and now we'll just run this now, and you can see it is grabbing the banner very successfully, right? And how we can scan for multiple ports, and we are going to prompt our user for IP address from the front end user. Okay, how we can do that? That's very simple. Instead of IP, you just need to go on with raw input. Okay, so raw input, because you are asking input from the user, right? So in here I'll just add in this way and enter the IP you want to grab. Okay, and in this way I've just mentioned. And then now what I'll do, in the port I need to add a condition, actually a loop. Okay, why? So I'll just add for port in range, because we can mention any range, right? For I'm just going to mention only the 100. Okay, and then it will go on to grab the banner, return banner, IP port, everything. And if the banner contains this value, and then it will work on continuously. Okay, so this is what you have to make a simple change in this one. And in case you need any slash and the kind of thing, so like this you can mention, and 1 second, so plus, and in this way. Okay, so along with this, and you need to mention string port, because it will take port as string in here. It will, for merging the port values in here, you need to put it in the port in the manner of string. Okay, in a line. So okay, that's why we are mentioning in this way. And now we have made everything very well. We just added this port loop. For that, it will scan every port within this range for the particular IP the user is entering. Now let me save it, check it out, it's working very well or not. And okay, I've missed a colon in here. Okay, now control X, enter, save. Now let me run it again, and 192.168.43.2, and you can see it is successfully scanning the ports, and it is retrieving me the banners too. Okay, and if you don't want this line to be in here, you can strip this line with our just next to the banner you can add the strip line and you can strip it easily. Okay, so this is how we do banner grabbing with our scanning tool, with our scanning, and it's very easy how to grab banners with a simple function, that receive function that we have in here in Python. Okay, so that's what we have in here with the banner grabbing technique, and we'll move on to make our own vulnerability scanner. Okay, so we'll start now scripting here with our Python, and we'll make our own vulnerability scanner. So before creating a vulnerability scanner, we just need to know how the vulnerability scanners works. Okay, so we have multiple vulnerability scanners like Nessus, like Qnetics, and you have Nmap also. You can scan with Nmap also for vulnerabilities, right? And all these things, how it works. So everything works with a database and its back. Okay, so it will just check it and it will create a connection with the victim's machine or the target machine, and it will check the exact version of the service or software running there, and then it will verify with the database it is holding it its back. Okay, so that is how vulnerabilities works. And here also we need a same kind of database in here, and here we're not going to use any database, and we'll be using a simple file for that, because we don't have that kind of database available for us for our own. So it will be, you can use your databases if you have one of your own. So I've made my own vulnerabilities list in here, because that holds the vulnerabilities that you can have in Metasploitable. Okay, so let's see how many vulnerabilities that I have in here. And it's not actually vulnerabilities, I've made a list of my own, and you can see, and these are main target. That's what we're going to do. We'll check it out now what we're going to do. So I have some list of services running in there, not services, I've mentioned some services in there, and let's get it out, and we'll just make a new script in here. Okay, so for that script I'm just going to name it as vulnerability scanner, one scanner. Okay, one scanner.py, and it's ready now, and we need to start with our shebang line, right? So user bin Python. Okay, and we need a main function obviously, so define main function, right? And then we need to call the main function again in here. So we'll call this main function here itself, and then we'll start scripting, writing our tool. Okay, so in here what we need in main function to perform this vulnerability scanner, to write down this vulnerability scanner, we need 3 libraries to work with. So the most common one, we have Saket for connection, right? And we need OS for we need the files to open, right? So for that we need OS. Okay, and then we need one more library for arguments. Okay, so what is that arguments? We will be giving up 2 files. Okay, so what are those 2 files? 2 files is like one file is like vulnerability scanner. Okay, vulnerability scanner, and another file may be anything like our vulnerabilities text file that we have, that text file, right? Exactly the same. So it can be anything like this. So vulnerability scanner, and you need to mention your database also, the text file also. Okay, .txt file will be there. So that's why we will be using 2 files. So we need to work on with arguments. So that's why we are using this sys, import sys library is responsible to play with your arguments. Okay, so let's write our code in here. Define main. So in this one, what I'm going to write, if first we need to verify the user is giving up the 2 file name, your Python script and the vulnerabilities file. Okay, otherwise we need to close a program, or we need to display something else for the user, right? So that's why we are going to verify if length, what is this, sys arguments, can you see, is this arguments value is equal to, okay, then we need to do the R function name. Okay, so for example, file name is equal to sys dot argument v, and I'm mentioning in here 1. This is called indexing in Python. Okay, so our value starts with 0 in indexing when in Python, right? So if a user mentioned two file names, so the first file name holds the indexing value of 0 and the second file name has a value of 1, so that's why I mentioned 1 in here. Okay, and then you can go on in here with this by if not os dot path, we have the file name here, so os path, okay, os path dot is file, okay, and the file name. So file name, I'm just using the file name variable only in here for that particular file. Okay, then it will print out print, okay, if not, if there is no file in there. So that's why if there is no file in there, it will return an error in this way, the file is not found. Okay, the file is not found. In this way it will return. And we are going to add one more if in here. Okay, this is called as nested if. So if not having access to that file, so what will happen? So that time what it will return, file name. Okay, so this is an argument that you need to use, was start r underscore okay. Okay, then it should return something like this, print denied. Okay, so it should return the error, not error, the reply in this way. Okay, then everything is done. Now what I need to do, I need to exit this, okay, function, and if it is okay, then it's good. Now else, otherwise what will happen? In case if it doesn't happen, it should return him this value, print okay, usage, and usage should be in this way. Okay, plus, and your string and your system arguments, okay, system arguments v, and your file name. Okay, what file name you're using, the vulnerability scanner.py, whatever be the file name you're using, that should come in there, that will come in there. And you can have the next one, and that should be your vulnerable file name. Okay, so user can use any vulnerable file name, vulnerabilities actually, vulnerabilities file name. Okay, okay, so everything is done, and I think I should not use this one, sys argument, we don't need this. Actually we need this, I need to close it in here. Okay, everything is done. Now in else I need to create one more thing in here for port list. For I need to create a port list in here. So port list, because we need to scan the ports for services, right? For port list equal, and what ports I need to scan, 21, 22, 80, 139, 445, or then I can add 25 or 23, any ports I can add in this way, right? So I have made a port list, and now it will do for x in range, this is for your IP address range. Okay, so this is for your IP address range for x in range 1 to 255. So it will just scan the whole subnet in this range. Okay, or you can mention in here 4, 5, 6 or 10 to 12, any range that you want you can mention in here. Okay, and then what you need to do, IP equal string 192.168.43. This is my IP range, so that's why I'm giving in this way. And you can add plus, and you can add string x. Okay, so what will happen, it will just go in the x values, go in here, and it will just combine within this value, and it will scan the IP with the port values, port numbers. Okay, then I need to add in here in this way for port in port list. Okay, I need a loop in here. Actually I should have the loop in here also. Okay, then and I will add in here banner. Yeah, we need banner. Okay, banner. Then I need to introduce one more function in here because we are going to use the same functionality that we used in the previous one. We need to access the banner first, then only we can compare, right? So that's why. So return banner, and I will be using the same two arguments in here, IP and port. Okay, so once IP is chosen, it will go in here, and it will take each and every port, and it will go in loop. Okay, so for each banner it will just check if banner is there. Okay, if banner is there, then it will just go on and will print out. Okay, now and it will print out IP. I need to add plus in here, plus again, then this one, then plus string port, otherwise it will not work. Integer will not go in here. Then I'll have to add plus again, then I have to add this. Okay, so now everything is done, and I need to add the banner also in here, right? So banner. Okay, so all done. Now I need to introduce in another function. Then in here check vulnerability, new function. Okay, and in here I need to add two function like banner, two arguments, that is banner and the file name, because we need to verify the file name, banner with the file name, right? So that's why I'm going on in this way. So everything is done, main function, everything is okay. Now we need to create two functions, right? Banner, return banner and the check vulnerability function. Now we'll just go on here and we'll create these two function. So for this two function I need to use the first one, that is ret and banner IP comma port. Okay, so the same way we are going to use in here with socket and everything, blah blah blah. Okay, so how we do that, that's very easy, we know already, right? So we'll just, I need to define it, right? And I need to try it now. Try now I need to socket. You can copy it, paste, you can copy and paste also, you can do that. Set default timeout. Okay, I'm just giving timeout 2, and everything is done. I'm going to introduce a new variable s equals socket, and it will just verify the connection for creating the connection. And now I will just make the connection now, s connect with the port and the IP address. Okay, so I have to use two parentheses. This is what the mistakes we have did with the normal banner grabbing one. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll just banner equal to s dot receive if this work with 1024 bytes, and our work is done. Okay, now it will return the banner. Okay, now or accept. Okay, now or accept, it will just return the main loop. Okay, now I need to define another function, that is your vulnerability. Let me check the vulnerability function name. Okay, check vulnerability. The function name is check vulnerability. Okay, check vulnerability. Now it needs to function, right? So sorry, arguments, banner and file name, all done. Now we will do how to do this comparison and all. Okay, so we are not going to use any file name equality or something. We will be checking the integrity of the files. We are going to open that file and we'll be reading line by line. Okay, so how we do that, we know, like we have already seen in our basics, we know how to open a file in Python. Okay, so I'm just giving this a simple variable f, okay, for file, and I'm going to open that and file name. Okay, and I'm giving in here with the read functionality, so it will read the file there. And then what we need to do, for each line in there, for each line in that, okay, in f, okay, dot read lines, each lines, okay, if line dot strip, it will check out each and every line. That's why we're using this strip. Actually you don't have to use it also sometimes. Okay, so for each line in banner, print it out. Okay, and it will print out server is vulnerable, okay, plus your banner. Okay, and you can you don't need to add this one also. You can just remove this, no need to have this, because that is because I've mentioned everything in new one by one line, so that's why. Okay, we can add this for maybe we don't want this to create any fuzz when we work. So okay, banner strip, I'll open. Okay, so well done. Now let's check it out. Maybe we have too much of errors in this, and we'll just check it one by one and we'll clear it. Okay, so Control X, save this file, enter. And now what I'll do, how to run this one, I just need to change the permission for this file, +X vulnerability scanner.py. okay, sorry, vulnerability scanner.py. okay, I've changed this. Now I can run this vuln underscore scanner.py, and okay, define main invalid syntax. Okay, now let me check it, what we have in this one. All done very well. Did I call the main function properly or not? Yes. Okay, I've missed a parenthesis in here at the last. Okay, get it. So this is the same mistakes I've done for the second time. No problem. And you can see it is clearly showing me how to use this vulnerability scanner. Okay, I can mention in this way, or I can just make it a small change in this by giving up a space in this now. Okay, so I can give a small space in the middle. Okay, I can add a small space in this in the middle. So if I just give in this way, you can see your you can see in this way vulnerability scanner and your file name. So okay, this is how we do specify each and everything one by one. Okay, this is how to use this file vulnerability scanner.py, and then you can mention your vulnerabilities file name. Okay, and let's try this now, and I'm going to add the file name, and what is the file name I'm having? vulnerabilities.txt, right? vulnerabilities.txt, enter. Okay, global file name is not defined. Okay, I just made a spelling mistake. Let me check it out once again. and let's go in here, file name, yes, because in here you can see that I've mentioned, okay, I've mentioned file name in here, but I've made a spelling mistake. And now let's check it out. It's not returning me any error, but at this time it's not returning me any result also. Okay, maybe something wrong. For some reason my program is exiting but not creating any kind of error. Okay, I've just checked the whole code. I didn't see any error, everything is perfect. And maybe something wrong with my internet connection. I just disconnected and connected again, and now no need to worry about that part. And I think everything is good now, good to go. And then let's check it out once again. The code is simply the same, and I haven't changed anything except this function name. Instead of check vulnerability, I've just changed to check vul, because it looks very big and large. That's why I've just changed it to check vul, and everything is perfect other than that. Okay, so now let me run this now with this vul scanner and then vulnerabilities.txt file. Okay, and you can see this now, and it is clearly finding out our machine is vulnerable with SSH, and that machine is 43.2, and everything you can see it in here. Okay, so this is how we make vulnerability analysis scanner. And this is not a vulnerability analysis scanner like Accunetics or Nessus. It's a very simple basic scanner, but this is how your vulnerability scanner looks like. And you can add your databases with it, and you can add multiple ports and multiple actions that you can perform with your vulnerabilities. Okay, so that's how we build vulnerability analysis scanner with our Python tool. Okay, and stick with us. We'll see you again in another tool, and we have lots of tools upcoming in the upcoming videos. So please stay tuned and watch all the rest of the videos and learn good stuff from our Security Solutions YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and see you again in another video.